What's up, everybody? Yoko1993 is back, and I got a story to tell. Yes, that's right, it's a storytelling motherfucking asshole shitting brick ass fucking video, man. This guy, come on, let's go, come on. I'll tell a story after this. Oh, no! Hit your fucking... Oh man, I hate when you... Come on. The dojo is fucking mine, you bitch. Get your ass. Oh, fuck. I forgot he had that fucking bomb in his hand to explode on me. Alright, so... I remember back in 2003, we moved into a house. My dad lost an apartment, and all of us had to go live with his friend. And right away, like when we lived there, you know, me and my brothers and my sister knew, and my mom knew that, you know, this place wasn't really for us. This place was just, it was just shitty, you know. We lived in someone else's house. And it was a house with 3 bedrooms, and my sister had her own room because that's by law, you know what I mean? A girl has to have her own room. Hold on. You really are an amazing person, Link. It seems you somehow managed to seal their souls. Maybe I shall vanish soon myself. Well then... What? You don't make any sense. You just said, oh, maybe I should vanish myself. Like, you know what I mean? Alright, so... fuck! Alright. I just healed his soul. I should have gave him a happy voice after if I healed his soul. Maybe next time I see him, I'll give him a happy soul voice. There you go, guys. I got 1 heart piece. Alright. 3 to go. And yeah, we lived in this house, and we didn't really like it that much because the guy there that was running it was an asshole. And we all knew we didn't want to be there, you know. And it was one of those moments where me and my family had, like, you know, it was one of the dark times in our life, and we lived in a house with this dude, and right away he didn't like me. He hated my guts, and I don't know why. I was 10 at the time, and I went to this school that I didn't really like, and I didn't really like anybody there. And I don't know, it all didn't make sense to me because I didn't get why he didn't like me. I guess he just didn't like people in general, and you know, my dad didn't have really enough money to move out, so I had to stick with it. You know, I had to stick with the fact that I had to live with an asshole that didn't like me or my brothers, you know, and you know, he disrespected me a lot, and he just didn't like me, alright? And not saying alright to you guys, just to the situation, you know. And I had to deal with that for quite some time, and I went to this school full of, like, stuck-up people who didn't really, you know, go through the situation I was going through at home. And I remember just, you know, I used to go in the kitchen, and he used to harass the shit out of me. He used to just be like, you know, what the fuck you doing in the kitchen? Get the fuck out of the kitchen. You know, you're fat, this and that, and you know, and just a really horrible guy, you know. I just don't get why my dad would be friends with somebody like him. And I guess you're desperate when you need a place to stay, you know, with your family. And I used to just go to school fucking, like, depressed all the time and try to cover it up by being, you know, by joking around and being a clown and all that. And you know, I mean, when I think about it, you know, there's kids out there who have it worse, but I'm not talking about them right now. Alright, this is my situation. It's my video. I don't want to talk about other people because it really pisses me off to think about all this stuff, and I'm gonna get it off my chest. And I feel like these videos are really close to me because you guys watch them, and I feel like you guys need to hear this. And before I go on with it, hold on. You see this dude that always comes down here? Yeah, look at you with the Keaton mask. That's a Keaton mask from Ocarina of Time. That's pretty cool they put it on him. He's this mysterious dude that just walks around that town and goes back up there after he checks the mail over here, you know? He has nothing in the mail and he's disappointed. So his ass is going up there. Oh, wait a minute. No, I wasn't supposed to do this shit. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Forget him. We'll talk about him later. Right now, we're doing this, alright? I'll show you what we're doing. I need to go in the bomber's hideout real quick just to get something. Alright, and... So anyways, yeah, let me turn it down real quick. Storytelling shit. Yeah, and, so, I used to, like, you know, lock myself in my room playing like this game or Ocarina of Time, like again, my N64, and playing PS2 and Mortal Kombat and all that. And it got to the point where that didn't work anymore. So I started to really just get angry. I started having anger problems, like living with this guy over and over, coming home from school and all that, and this and that, and my mom knew about it too, and you know, she kind of like got my ass out of that situation because her and my dad were always at work, and my dad, you know, he's one of those people where he has some aggression issues, not towards me and my family or nothing, but he just didn't want to be bothered with all the problems, you know, because he's one of those people. He's a loose cannon. He'll snap, and everyone always says, you know, my father's tough, and all that. And I'm not saying that. I'm not in no way saying like he is tough. I'm not in no way saying that in a way where, oh yeah, that's cool me saying that about my dad. No, it's one of those moments where you don't want to piss him off because you don't want to bother him for any of that shit, you know? So what am I to do? I go to my cousin's house and I chill there for most of my life, and you know, and get this right, my cousin's house isn't even a walk in the park neither. You know, my cousin's house was just a bunch of drama too, you know, and it's really bullshit just thinking about how much I had to deal with, like with all these people just getting on me. And so after I graduated the 6th grade, because the 6th grade at my school was still elementary school, and they got us prepared for middle school at the time. So by the time I hit 7th grade in middle school, I started dressing like different, like I started dressing like the long t-shirts and the hats and all that, and you know, the baggy jeans and you know, all the kids wear, you know, like all long sleeve shirts and all that, and I started like going on dates and all that. Started getting girls, and I started getting into like, you know, started hanging out outside more at nighttime, and then come back to like 11 and all that. And you know, this dude still would get on my ass for all that shit. And my sister actually saved up enough money to get us all out of that house. So in that place where I lived was Warwick with that asshole, and then we lived in a place called West Warwick. It was a different world compared to Warwick. It was nothing like it. Warwick was more a suburban area. West Warwick was, you know, I don't want to say this about everybody that comes from there, because not a lot of people from there are assholes, but West Warwick was pretty much the ghetto with white people and Spanish people mixed with black people, and it was mostly white people, and it was like white trash people, you know, people that would get into fights about everything, and there would be like homeless people around there and panhandlers, and the place would be like run down with graffiti on all that shit, and basically when I lived there, I went to a different school and all that with all these different kids, and when I went there, I remember just waking up one day and going to the bus stop and all, and there's a bunch of kids who dressed just like me and shit. And I remember just talking to all of them. They're all really funny people, you know. They're all down to earth. And isn't it funny that when you go to a really poor section, that you find better people down there than you do in a section where people have money and all that? That's pretty like, it doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Anyways, when I got on the bus and it was a bunch of all these kids like swearing and all that, and like throwing shit at each other. And the bus driver was like, "Everybody, sit your fucking ass down," and all this. Oh, I forgot to give the moon stare to that. Okay, I forgot. Um, yeah, and the bus driver swear at them and all that, and drop us off at school. And I went to a school called Daring Middle School, and when I went there, the principal was laid back. He didn't really yell at any of the kids because he knew he couldn't control none of the kids there. You know, all the kids were out of control. And I remember the first time I went there, I met up with some kids there that lived there that I met at the mall at one point, and I started hanging out with them, and they lived down the street from me and all that. And I just remember the first day I went there, I got 5 girls' phone numbers there. You believe that? That's oh, no, I don't want to withdraw anything. I don't. I know you won. I know you run the lottery, guys. I'm gonna win that lottery thing after I do this. All right. So you guys know I 100% of the game. So, anyways, wait. Did I grab that? Okay, yeah. I better have grabbed the moon stare. I was gonna be pissed off. And then I got 5 girls' phone numbers from there, and then there was a bunch of kids that like kind of didn't like me sometimes because there's all these punks over there that I didn't like most of the kids, and they tried. Hold on, let's just give this to him so I can think. They give all the teachers a lot of shit and all that, and I went to my classes and all that, and I'm trying to think of. Okay, so I met this kid Oramus that I knew from my friend from a long. I lived in West Warwick as a kid before, so I know how I knew some kids there, but they were all grown up. And it's funny how in your childhood, when you hang out with the kids in your childhood when you were 12, and it wasn't that long ago from when I went there. I was 12 when I left my friend from there, and then like 2 years went by, and it was a long 2 years, and I went through a lot of changes at the time. By the time I went there, my friend didn't really seem to like me that much, and I seen him in the hallways, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" You know what I mean? Like, "How you doing?" And just kind of ignoring me. I guess he didn't really like me anymore. And things change, and that's the way it is. So I met up with this kid Aramis, and I hung out with him. He kind of lived the same life I lived, in like a crummy little small shit box apartment with like 3 rooms, 2 rooms in it. And we all had like that old interior in the house, and like a bunch of people that come up in there. We lived around a lot of kids that like to party and shit, and just everything about it was just like out of control, and none of the kids there seemed to give a fuck. Everyone was just fighting over there, and that was life over there apparently. All right, you see. All these Deku scrubs, they want to move to the town where I was just at, and they give me different colored title deeds. So I gotta like see from over here. I gotta be a Deku scrub, and I gotta go to the snow mountains and give one of them this green title deed. Isn't that cool how they have like different colored ones? I love how this game's like all about colors. Colors, color. All right. So anyways, when I hung out with him, he got in trouble and this was already settled with the cops and all that. So in no way am I saying stuff that's there. Yeah, there. There's no way I'm saying something that's confidential from the cops, because this is already like out there information. It's already settled with the cases in court and all that. So Aramis broke into this kid's house. This kid named John Kaplan, and these are fake names, by the way. These are not their real names. This is fake names because I don't want to use the real names to give out their information. We're just gonna call them John and Aramis, all right? So, however, Aramis had problems with John, and apparently he got in his window and he stole a pair of Jordans, and he stole a phone and a Rolex from their house. And apparently the cops were over there, and I I went over Rames's house. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know that he stole any of this stuff. So I went over to his house, and my friend. I always got cracked on from like what because I wasn't very wealthy. I always had like shitty clothes to wear and shitty fucking shoes. I had like red striped shoes with a black on it, and wearing like yellow and blue shirts. And I didn't like that, so I had a yellow outfit, and Aramis had the yellow. He had the yellow Jordans, and they were like, Josh, you don't want to go to school with the yellow shirt with red sneakers, do you? And I was like, no, I kind of don't. And you look like ketchup and mustard. And so he gave me the shoes. He let me borrow them, and I had to leave my other shoes there, so he knew I bring them back. And apparently, so I went to school the next day wearing the shoes. And I remember I was in the cafeteria around breakfast time because I went to see my girlfriend, making out and outside of the school and all that because I had girlfriends at the time. And I was like 14 or 15 at the time. So, anyways, this kid that I knew, I was cool with him. This kid named Richard. He was like this black kid named Richard. He was like, like right across the table from me with three of his friends. He was like, "Oh, Josh, where'd you get those shoes at?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Oh, my friend Aramis let me borrow them." And then all of a sudden, he's like, all right, Aramis is getting fucked up." And I was like, "Whoa, what?" I was like, I went over to the table. I was like, "What are you talking about?" It was Richard. How is Aramis getting fucked up? What happened? And he's like, "No, he's just getting fucked up." He's like, "Those sneakers are stolen, right? And you're wearing them?" And I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" So here's another thing I got to deal with. So, anyways, all day in school, all these kids were like telling me, like, "Josh, you better watch out. You better watch your ass. John doesn't fuck around. He doesn't fuck around with people who steal his shit." And then some black kid named Eli came up to me. He was like, "Josh, whatever you do, just run when you get out of school and go to his house and make sure that you bring the shoes over to his house." And then I wasn't planning on doing that. I was going to give him back to Aramis. So, anyways, I got on the bus, and I was just sitting there waiting for the bus to go. And all of a sudden, guess what happened? John comes on the bus, and everybody's staring at me, like, "Oh!" And then he comes up to the bus, right? And he's like, "Take off those fucking shoes." And, all right, I'll tell you in the next video. All right, Yoko 1993. Everybody, watch the next video, and you'll tell more of the story. All right, peace out.